and jump right into the messages because I'm really feeling the flow of this thread of energy coming through. And specifically, we are going to be taking a look at a situation where someone is giving mixed signals in a connection or being a bit confusing. So, this might be someone who comes off as a little hot and cold, or where you feel as though sometimes you are really deeply connecting with this person and very in sync with them, only to feel at other times as though they're almost kind of dropping off the face of the map. So, I am going to be shuffling the cards here and tapping into what could be potentially happening in this situation. But prior to setting up my decks here on my desk, I got the cards Union and Unawakened. So interestingly, I'm picking up on someone who is very heavily thinking about wanting a union with you, wanting this connection to be long term. In fact, I'm hearing that this is something they are almost frantically thinking about. Now, the reason that there is this frantic essence kind of to it is I feel that you recognized, you sensed a soul contract with this particular person, but now it's almost like they are scrambling to stay connected to you. I keep getting imagery around being on the phone with someone and you start to lose the connection, and it's almost like they sense that there is this fuzzy connection with you, but that is making them very urgent to want to stay on the line. And it's also making them afraid that you're going to hang up the phone here. I know it's not a perfect metaphor, but that's kind of what is coming through in this situation. Now, I'm getting that you are most likely connecting as the divine feminine here, and this person is more so resonating with their masculine because they are coming up as the King of Cups. Something that you did or said somehow really suddenly connected this person with their emotions. It's almost like something just clicked into place for them that they were unconscious of or not aware of for a long time. And this caused this kind of frantic feeling within them of scrambling to want to stay connected with you. So maybe it's not so much what you did or said as something that you didn't do or didn't say. Maybe you actually pulled back your energy or your communication from this person, or maybe it was something specific that you said to them that somehow triggered something within them and caused them to realize that if they don't take action, they're going to lose you. My guides just keep telling me that you sensed the connection first, that you sensed the soul connection or the soul contract between the two of you. And in fact, that is why you felt so drawn to this person, because you intuitively picked up on some kind of energetic bond with them that they were very unconscious of or even dismissive about. This may be someone who actually initially treated you very superficially. I'm hearing treated you like all the others. So maybe at the time they had many other romantic people or options in their life, and they may have treated you in the same way that they treated these more superficial, surface level, karmic feminine energies around them. But somehow something has clicked into place for this person, and it is completely altering how they want to interact with you. But I'm hearing, is it too late to change the nature of our connection or of our interactions? So this might be a masculine wondering if they waited too long, wondering if it's too late to approach you in an entirely different manner. And I'm hearing shift it from being a connection that they treat very casually to being one that they hold in high regard and treat very seriously. For some reason, that word serious just keeps coming up. Like, this is someone who wants you to take them seriously, but who also wants to treat this connection with a kind of seriousness, with a kind of sacred kind of approach. Now, the problem is that when they approached you initially or in the beginning stages of this connection, they were treating it very the opposite. They were acting dismissive of it or treating it as fleeting or superficial. So they're going to have to put in a lot of effort and action to show you that they desire to treat this connection in a serious way. And I feel that you are really holding the bar or holding the standard for this masculine to need to show you with their words and with their consistent actions that they want to approach this differently, because I feel that they've tried to almost like skate by here, or just to naturally shift this connection into something more serious. And you've been resistant to that because you aren't allowing this person to just re-enter your life fully without first showing you that they regard and respect this connection on a much higher level than they did in the past. And the way that they need to show that is through their actual 3D communication, consistency, words, and actions. So let's go ahead and reshuffle here. I'm hearing, with again those cards, unawakened and union, it's almost as though a masculine who has been living in a very unawakened manner is also now strongly desiring this union with you. When I say they've been living in an unawakened manner, this could look very different from person to person, but I am getting that for some of them, they might have more of a party lifestyle, or they might participate in what we might think of as lower vibrational substances or activities, or in lower vibrational groups or conversations or environments. And this has brought a lot of chaos, a lot of turbulence into their life. They've noticed that you live your life very differently, that you have this inner core of peace and stability. And as your energy has worn on this masculine over time, they've noticed that after being in your presence or communicating with you or being around you, some of your peace almost wears off on them. I'm seeing plants. Maybe someone has house plants here. I'm also seeing fish. So possibly someone has fish or an aquarium. But I'm also getting some imagery around fish symbolism. So fish can symbolize the unconscious mind because they live in the depths and are elusive. Interesting. So that is almost verbatim what I was picking up on as far as how this person perceives you. They perceive you as someone who's very elusive, but also very connected to their own subconscious, someone who's left this really deep subconscious impression on them. And just like a fish is slippery and hard to grasp, it's almost as though this person perceives you as difficult to fully comprehend or understand, and yet they have found themselves so drawn to you. And again, part of this draw is because how your inner core of peace seems to leave an effect or wear off on this person and cause them to feel very peaceful, very stabilized within themselves. With the adjacent possibilities card, I feel that the universe is presenting this masculine with an opportunity to choose a different path. Now, they have felt a little bit cornered into this because we also have financial constraints. So they've come up with a lot of constraints, blockages, or forms of restriction in their life that I feel they haven't been fully open about. So something in their life they're realizing is very limiting or very restrictive. This is something very much of a physical or material nature. So this could be related to their work, their finances. They feel very entrapped in something, very backed into a corner, very limited in some way. And I'm also getting that they've been very silent about this. It's almost like there's this element of embarrassment that they are feeling so entrapped in this particular situation.
Fuck is this?
I'm also picking up that this has generated some conflict either internally within themselves or with people around them here. This is part of why they've really been seeking you out subconsciously and on the astral plane, because you are the embodiment of such a great deal of peace and tranquility and stability. And that is something that this person really feels that they're lacking in their life at this time. The imagery of a helmet, like someone removing a helmet. So within that imagery, this may be someone who was trying to protect their head, protect their mind. Maybe they were very closed off from being open to new things, new ideas, new concepts, and you may be someone who really embodies these types of new things and ideas. You are a very open-minded person. I feel that connecting with you either platonically, romantically, even just as an acquaintance, having a conversation with you necessitates one to begin opening their mind to new concepts and ideas. So when someone is very closed-minded, they find it difficult to form a long-term deep connection with you. So when this person was wearing that symbolic helmet, when their mind was very closed off here, you may have actually found it very difficult in the beginning to develop depth with this person. So I know we're kind of getting into some complexity here, but essentially you sensed that there was a deeper soul connection here. I got the name Mark or Marcus. You sensed that there was a deeper soul connection or a contract, and you listen to that intuitive guidance. So when you feel that soul pull to someone, you know how to follow that out, even when logically it doesn't make sense. And I can clearly see that logically there were certain things about this masculine that exhibited traits, habits, characteristics. Maybe again they had more of a party lifestyle or were engaged with lower vibrational substances, things, people, conversations that you typically would not get close to or engage with, because those types of things just tend to not resonate with your much higher vibrational frequency. Yet completely unexpectedly and unexplainably you felt pulled to this person. That was that soul pull that we're talking about. It was the activation of terms of some kind of soul contract here. And I am going to channel more into potentially what kind of contract that is between the two of you, because I'm very curious about that. But this person was wearing that symbolic helmet, meaning they were very closed-minded and were unconscious to the soul contract between you. In fact, on their end, with the sacral chakra coming up here, they thought that they were just superficially attracted to you, when what they were actually feeling and responding to was that same soul pull that you were feeling. They just consciously interpreted that as sacral chakra energy, meaning as this superficial physical level of attraction, but it was much deeper than that, and it always has been. It's just that they were very closed-minded to any of those types of concepts or ideas, to believing that there could be something deeper than the physical going on between the two of you. But now they are removing that helmet. They are opening their mind to the idea that the two of you share a very special spiritual bond here, and it's making them really frantic to want to establish some kind of long-term connection with you. So I am going to be reshuffling the cards and channeling into the terms of this soul contract that you were able to sense, but that this person may have been unaware of in the beginning. And as I'm shuffling, I also want to share with you a tool that you can use to really shift the energy around this situation and connection. And this is a subliminal meditation that I've created called Love Magnetism. So, subliminals are audio meditation tracks, and these meditations are very unique because they contain affirmations that are embedded within other sounds, tones, and frequencies. And this allows the affirmations to bypass the conscious filter of the mind while you're listening and make deeper, more lasting impressions on the subconscious mind, which is so powerful because it's actually our subconscious that controls 95% of our thoughts, actions, and outcomes in life. So when we reprogram and shift what's happening in the subconscious, it's like this powerhouse of manifestation, this fast track to shifting our entire energy and manifesting much more quickly in our lives. Personally, I have seen the most profound results, shifts, and changes in my own life as a result of using subliminals. I started using them a couple years ago, and I still use them every single day. In fact, I now meditate with my own subliminals app that I am sharing with all of you through the app stores. So it's available on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. And when you download the app, you can access over 130 subliminals I've created for essentially every area of life, for appearance, mood, mindset, money, physical manifestations, love, relationships, and many other things as well. So there's a lot to explore there, and you can also read the affirmations while you're listening and create your own custom private playlists within the app. So specifically for this reading, I would most highly recommend my Love Magnetism Subliminal because this is designed to clear out any love-related blockages you might be storing energetically in the 7 chakras to really help you align more with the frequency of unconditional love, which is the most powerful and magnetic frequency on the planet. So this can be utilized to help you manifest or deepen a connection with a specific person. It can also be used in a more general sense to attract more love and positive opportunities into all areas of your life. So you can find my Subliminals app in the App Store by searching.
I'll tell you what subliminals are. Yeah, so websites are not even available anymore, you know. That's why things like Arena are, you know, not for long.
reversed and
Welcome back. And
the
this is the
Nine of
last
Cups in the
afternoon
reverse
of the
position.
course.
So although you really inspired this
Before I
person,
announce the first speaker, I want to especially thank all the speakers. Not everybody is here, but definitely want to thank all of them, and especially people from industry, like Peter, who do the effort to come here, prepare the lecture. Very often they don't get credit for this in their company, but they still do this, and I think it's a great service to the community, and I would like to thank them because this course could not be done without the close collaboration between both academia and industry.
Hello everyone. Today is the second talk about privacy, and instead of going into all possible directions of privacy, I decided to pick one direction and explain that and talk about that, and that is anonymity, or more precisely, anonymous communication. Why anonymous communication is important? Because it is one of the, in many of the presentations that you have seen, why it is important to protect the data, why it is important to protect confidentiality, how cryptography helps there. But anonymity is not just about protecting the data, it's also about protecting the metadata. And this is one of the major applications of protecting the metadata. So in this talk, I'll try to explain what communication anonymity means, what do we mean by anonymity, and then what are the goals of such anonymous communication systems. And then I'll talk about three different techniques to achieve anonymity, namely Tor, Mixnet, and DCNets. So what is anonymity? Anonymity is the state of being not identifiable within a set of subjects or individual. For example, you are a whistleblower in a company. You want to publish some company documents, and then you don't want the company or any other people, or even the journalist whom you are sending the documents to know that who you are, because then that might have other problems. Sometimes you are a social activist, sometimes you are a human rights activist, and you want to publicly publish your opinion, and then you don't want the government or anyone else to know that who you are, so that they cannot, it doesn't blow back on you. For example, we all know that the founder of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, is still in prison, and even Edward Snowden, he cannot go back to his home country. He has to hide in other countries. And the reason being that because people know who they are, and then they are basically facing the challenges. Even the family members of Julian Assange are regularly facing different kind of threats. And in such scenarios, anonymity could be useful. Even if you are not something like a whistleblower or social rights activist or human rights activist, suppose you are just a person browsing the internet. You don't want Google or Facebook to profile you. You don't want your ISP to profile you, and then based on that send you targeted ads. Sometimes you might like targeted ads, but some people might not like that. Some people might not like that some online service knows about their food habit better than themselves.
This is not a beautiful design.
And that's why anonymity is important, and it's especially important in the digital world, because in digital world everything is persistent. Everything that once goes online, they cannot.
No, guys, no.
Anonymity
I don't care how many
privacy,
trees you planted. Don't ruin aesthetics of world by creating such ugly pieces.
Tools to achieve privacy, and more precisely, anonymity is one of the tools to achieve metadata privacy. But metadata privacy could be many other things other than anonymity. For example, every morning at 8 a.m. you open your laptop. That could be the metadata. That does not have anything to do with anonymity, but still that information might be used against you. So anonymity is a subset of metadata privacy, I would say. So what does it mean to achieve anonymity, or how easy it is to anonymity? Let's take an example. For example, let's assume there are 7.9 billion people on the world. And suppose you are on the KU Leuven campus and you are accessing the internet and you want to be anonymous. And out of those 7.9 billion, only 60% would use the internet, or significantly use the internet. And suppose you are browsing the web from KU Leuven campus and you are using the browser in English or Dutch or Icelandic, then you have different distribution, like 20% would speak English, 0.3% would speak Dutch, and 0.005% would speak Icelandic. And then you are accessing from KU Leuven campus. So suppose you are a KU Leuven student, then what is the... So there are so many ways to narrow down, just based on the information that you are accessing the internet from KU Leuven campus, probably using a browser that where the default language is Dutch or Icelandic, and just based on that information, it's so easy to narrow down.
Super.
There is a famous, I would not say famous. There was an exam case in a university campus. So in the morning, the day the exams start, the university receives a bomb threat on the campus via email, and then they try to figure out who sent the email. The email was sent from some random email address, and then they try to track the IP address of the person who sent the email, and then they realized the person who sent the email used Tor, so they could not track the IP address. Tor is one of the tools to achieve anonymity on the network. So that's great. That means probably that person's identity is hidden. But then they checked on the campus who among the students have used Tor just before the email was sent, and there was only one person, and that was enough. Then they can physically check their machine, show your machine.
А?
They can
Нет, еще не, я не хочу пока. Нет.
the student
Боже.
the exam, and they didn't want to go through the exam, and they thought that if they send a bomb through, then probably they will cancel the exams, and then they can prepare their paper. And that basically, this is not a great example, but you see how difficult it is to achieve anonymity. And that's why you need many people to achieve anonymity. You cannot be anonymous on your own. You need to have a collection of people, or a large number of people who are probably, for this example, there has to be a large number of people who are using Tor on the campus at that point. For that person, that student will be anonymous. And you need that means anonymity cannot, you cannot...
Gonna have to
achieve
open all
anonymity
these
on
links,
your own.
loves.
Anonymity comes with number. So typically when you talk about anonymity, we can talk about it based on different layers. So for example, if you are thinking about anonymity, the most basic layers is the communication layer and application layer. Suppose you are accessing Facebook through using some kind of anonymous communication system, for example, Tor. So, but you have to log into Facebook. Then Facebook can identify who you are as a person. But probably Facebook cannot still detect your IP address, but probably Facebook has a history of your locations where you accessed your Facebook account from, and based on that can guess that probably you are still using the same machine and same IP address. So when you so anonymity can be leaked on different layers. For example, of course, the network layer or the IP layer, the application layer. Other than that, also they can fingerprint your device. Many banks, when you log into the bank website, they check if you are logging in using a system that you have used before. If you haven't, then they would ask additional questions. That's for security, but that means they can detect if you are the same person or not. If they they find that you are trying to access the bank website from a different system, they want to make sure that it's you. So there are device fingerprinting for writing style. Some people always write the text in a certain way. For example, if you look at famous authors, you can just read one page of their writing. Even if you don't know who the author is, you can guess that probably this is the writing style. So there are multiple layers where anonymity can be broken, where the layer can leak information. But for today, we are going to focus on the network or IP layer, and
Nice.
mostly we'll talk about communication anonymity. So conceptually, what communication anonymity or for network layer means. So there are a bunch of IP addresses. There are a bunch of people who are
You
using
see
the
how it's
internet,
placed?
and there are bunch of services, or bunch of, for example, Facebook, Google, or other services. And then if someone who is observing your monitor your traffic, for example, your ISP, your government, or a third party, if they can track who who you are talking to. Are you
Madame
do
Avrahami,
you access
très
KBC
bien.
website,
Monsieur
the bank,
Barbarossa,
KBC bank website,
57
or do you access BNP Paribas Fortis, or do you have an account on bank? Or suppose they want to track what kind of social networks do you use? Do you always mostly use Instagram? Do you mostly use Facebook? Or do you are you most of the time on TikTok?
265 heures pour vous, ils achètent leur
So
pièce.
probably they are trying to track all those things, and then basically in these cases, then how do you obfuscate that information? That this IP address is talking to this IP address. How do you obfuscate that information? And then the adversary could be, for example, Facebook, which service you're accessing, or the website, or Google, or the adversary could be your ISP. The adversary could be your the country itself.
Yeah, also gonna open all of these.
Information from all the ISPs. And then you can divide things like passive attack, active attacks. Active attacks would be, so probably the adversary could inject their own traffic or try to modify traffic. Passive attack is just observing. And then you can divide partial or global adversary. Partial adversary would be probably just your ISP, where they cannot observe the whole internet or whole network, but they observe probably some of the portion of the traffic. Global adversary would be they can observe the whole internet. Technically, you can say that, okay, who can observe the whole internet, but there are
Afternoon
adversaries
is
who can
kind of like
significantly
always the
more
same.
information. For example, AT&T or German Telecom.
So boring.
They probably can have access
Who's
to
their
60%
market
of
target?
the global network.
Who buys this?
And there are studies that shows that those big
I mean it.
networks like AT&T or German Telecom, they can indeed access, like have access to 50% or 60% of the traffic.
Boring. Can't look at this.
And then the question comes to our mind, then when you want to make communication private, what properties do you expect from the network? Is anonymity enough, or do you need more, or what exactly do you need? So ideally, suppose Alice wants to communicate to someone, Bob, and then what Alice would like to hide. Of course, what she's saying, that is the confidentiality of messages. Who she is communicating?
And now, after she had twirled her thumbs for a short time, in concepts, for his mind and heart had been so enlivened.
Assume that was impossible. I never really thought about it, but you know, what other impossible things might actually be possible too? Your analysis in your book.
Toot, 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 toot. need to click all of these. Can we focus not on global challenges but opportunities? Like, please, how many more challenges we need to think about in order to be productive here? Maybe we should just shift our focus into problem solving, and I don't know. I mean, just all looks the same. Yes, exactly. God, I'm just so like, whatever. Edge worker or workers. I definitely don't feel inspired at all. Yeah, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in this. I don't. Unexciting. On board. Guys, we're saying the same things in different words. Why do we keep talking about the same things in different words, thinking we think differently and thinking our perspectives are completely different and we need to like gather in different tribes in order to accomplish things that we want? This is bullshit. All kinds of thinking should be included. Board yourself. On board to what, loves? This is all way too cultic. You know? We don't need this anymore. On board yourself. Fuck you. Picture of you, you fucker. Yep. It's clear. It's abstract as fuck.